Hey everybody. Well, today I thought we could take a look at this cool little kit. So this is a book nook, and for those of you unfamiliar with what a book nook is, it's this little insert that fits into a bookshelf that goes along with your books, and it has like a little diorama on the inside. It looks like it goes kind of far in, and it's usually a nice little, I don't know, like a little street or a cafe or something that kind of goes on in there. And some of them are pretty elaborate, and some of them are not so elaborate. This one probably falls in the middle. I've been wanting to build one of these for a long time, but God, they're expensive. Usually they're about, $150 to $200. And over the course of time, I think they've started to come down in price. I got this on Amazon for $50, I believe is what this was. But let's open it up and see what's on the inside. All right, so let's look inside here. Let me open this. I've never put one of these together before, so it should be interesting. All right, so we have some kind of a insert here. Oh, okay, well this is some kind of a box. I can feel there's some stuff in it. Ah, nice. Okay, so let me get this out of the way. And inside here, we can see some pieces of the walls. Wow, this looks pretty cool. I'm glad everything's already painted. Got some window panes going on here, some brickwork. I'm glad there's no stickers on this. I thought that's what was going to be the case for this, but it doesn't look like it. I'm not sure what all is in here. Let's see. Well, this is all wrapped up. Looks like there's some nice wood pieces in here and the instructions as well. And there's kind of a picture of it right there. All right, well, let me drag all this out of the box and we'll take a better look at it. All right, so here are the contents of the box, and there is quite a bit in here. As you can see, there's quite a bit of stuff. So now, looking at this, you can see the nice brickwork that's printed on these wood pieces. There's some more brickwork there. I believe that's going to be the little street, which is pretty cool. Over here is the right side of the alleyway, and this will be the left side. That looks really good. Looks like everything's pretty clearly labeled. It even got some brick printed in there, which is really neat. Over here we got some windows, and I think they're going to put a little sticker behind those, or some kind of, I guess there's not really stickers, but there's printed pieces. Here you can see some signs, like a little coffee shop and stuff like that, which is really neat. And then, let's see, there's some more stuff right here. Looks like a nice little French, I guess it's, I don't know, is it French? French alleyway. But yeah, here's some more stuff here. There's some more signs and another nice little side of the building. I'm not sure what the blue thing is. Look at that. There's even a little bicycle. That's really cool. This piece is really nice. There's some more brickwork right there, and that's going to be the main street section. I think there's going to be a lamp post that goes in that hole. Some more sides of the building. You can see the shingles that are actually, I guess those are probably laser etched in there. Some of these pieces you're going to pop out of the wood, and others are actually the part of the side of the wood. So I think you'll pop these parts out, but I think these parts are actually the side of the building. Over here we have a mirror, and this is really cool. That's kind of a key piece because the mirror is going to go in the back, and it gives the illusion of depth. So it looks like it goes further back than it actually does, and it's actually really cool. So I'm glad they did that. Now here is the electronics for this, because there's going to be, I think there's two lights in here. There's going to be a street light and a light in front of one of the taverns or something. And it looks like, now they give you heat shrink tubing. Oh, look at that. There's a nice little lamp right there. That looks cool. There's a sanding stick too. Now, I don't know. You may have to solder these wires together. They do give you some shrink tubing, and it doesn't say you have to solder. But I might solder them anyway, just to make sure they stay together. There's even a nice little screwdriver that they provide. Here's some more of the shingles. These are really nice looking parts. I'm pretty impressed with this. And then we got, oh, there's a nice little window right there too. Now there's some straws in here, and I think those are going to be used as the gutters, like the little drain pipes, is my guess. And then here we have some printed pieces that we're going to be putting in there. I think some of these go behind the windows. Look at that. You've got a little storefront right there. Some more signage. This looks really cool. I think you just glue them in place. And I'm probably just going to use Elmer's glue for the vast majority of this. It's a little more forgiving, and it dries clear. So hopefully that will work. All right, let's take a look at the instructions. So I was thumbing through this a little bit, and hopefully this isn't going to be a majorly complicated thing. I mean, I would hope that it'd be relatively easy to put together. There's some stuff about the electronics, and this is where you're starting to put some of the windows together. It's pretty cool. I love that little lamp. I think these sides of the building are going to look really nice. So, you know, they stick up just enough that it gives you the three-dimensional look of it. Oh, look at that. That's really cool. But, you know, it doesn't stick out too much because you need to have the alleyway open. So, yeah, this looks like it's going to be pretty fun. I've been wanting to do one of these for a long time, so hopefully I don't end up hating it or regretting it. See, there you can kind of see how it looks when you start to get it done. So, yeah, when you put this in your bookshelf, it looks kind of like a book, but then it actually is a little diorama that's on the inside, and you kind of see inside of it. So there's some more of it right there. I think the mirror is also going to help hide some of the wiring, which is pretty clever. All right, yeah, so this should be fun. All right, well, I guess I'll get started on it. Okay, so I wanted to show a couple of mistakes that I've already noticed in this kit. So now on the instructions right here, it says that F12 is this piece right here, but F12 is actually this piece. So they kind of screwed up on there. Also, you'll notice that they are telling you to put the paper, the little printing paper pieces, and you'll notice the wording is backwards on there, and that is because when it shows up in the mirror, it'll look like it's the right way. It's got it here. You can see the coffee thing is backward, and on these pages, they're backward as well for like the bread shop and stuff. But unfortunately, on the actual printing paper, they did not print them backwards. So those are going to show up backwards in the mirror. So I'm not sure how they didn't get that right, but they didn't. Here's the one for the coffee day shop. So yeah, that's kind of a big screw up. Also on the back of these, they are not painted this brown color. And that's going to probably show in the mirror as well. Like for this one here, I already put the sticker on it. So I may have to paint these brown so that it doesn't look weird. But yeah, I really wish they would have done that right. I guess I could probably take it to a print shop and have them reverse it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure most people will notice it. All right, well, anyway, thought I'd mention, oh, and look at this cool box window. I thought this was kind of neat. Even has some curtains in there. That's pretty neat. All right, well, anyway, back to work on it. Okay, so I had to do a slight modification here. So for this little lamp, it's going to have this piece that goes around it. That's what connects it to the wall. But the this part here sticks out, and so when you try to glue it to the wall, it doesn't fit flush. So what I did is I gouged out the middle section right here, and then just used a hobby knife to gouge out some of that wood, and then now this thing will sit more flush like this. So it's not pushing against the wall, because you're going to have to glue it onto this part right here, and I even gouged out a little bit of a hole there, and then that way it fits more flush. So you're going to have to do a little bit of a modification on this piece if you want it to fit right. All right, so we're getting quite a bit of work done here. Now this part was a little tricky. When you glue in the little lamp post, there's these tiny little wires, and you're supposed to hide them under the sign that goes under this window that's going to go right here. So in order for the sign to fit flush, I just took an X-Acto blade and just dug out a little gouge of a little trough right there for the wires to go in. And then that way it won't make the sign fit, you know, kind of crooked and stuff. So you'll have to do a little modification in that area. Okay, so this side is completely finished now, and this looks really good. I love the way that looks. You can see all the little details on here, whether they be the front or the back. I love those interiors in there. That looks really nice. This box window is really cool. So as I mentioned in this sign, I had to gouge out the little trough in there for that wire for the lamp. You can just see it going behind there. Now you're going to have to put this piece on here too, and you're going to have to do the same thing. You're going to have to gouge out a little bit of a trough right there for the wire to come out. But this piece here is, I think, what's going to hold the mirror in place. So, but this is looking really good. I really like it. I've already gotten this part done here. This is the little box window. This is going to go on the other side now. This is a, you know, it went together pretty good, but the roof pieces aren't the best. They're not really measured quite right. You can see there's gaps in it. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be mostly dark in there. You're not going to see that there's, you know, gaps in the roof and stuff, but it doesn't quite fit right. I used Gorilla Glue on this, and I poured a bunch of it in the corners to reinforce it to make sure this is strong, because it can be a little bit flimsy if you're not careful, since it's all hollow. And then these are the windows for the other side now. You got the white side and the back side here. And so all I do for this, so you have to put this paper piece on here. So I'll show you. I just use Elmer's glue. So let me set the camera down here real quick. So I just take a little bit of this glue, and I put a little pile of glue on a toothpick like this, and just kind of smear it on here. And just do a really light amount. I mean, you don't have to go crazy with it, because you're just gluing a piece of paper on here. So you just kind of get all these edges like this. Just kind of smear it on here. Just keep it kind of thin. And work your way around the outside. This is the way I did the ones for the right side. Okay, then it gets a little tricky because you have to hold it a certain way here. A little bit more here on this last side. Like that. And then I just put a little bit of a drop here in these corners of the panes, just so that we make sure that it stays in place. Don't want to put it on there too heavily though, because it's going to ooze out. See if I can get this one little spot here, here. Need a little bit more here. And it's going to be hard to hold this. Get that last little corner right here. Just like that, all right? And then let's see, take this paper insert. I just put it on here. Try to get it on there straight so you don't get it all smeared like this. And then just make sure you cut these out right on the edge, because if you have any extra left over, it's going to be too big. But that's all there is to it. And then I just kind of push it down like this to kind of make sure it's on there flat. Just like that. And that's how I did these ones over here. Same thing. It's kind of nice. I'm kind of glad they kind of left it blank. Oh, some of it's oozing out there, but that's going to dry clear. That's a good thing about Elmer's glue. But yeah, I'm kind of glad they left these blank, so it doesn't look too cartoony or anything. And here's those little gutter things I was talking about, where you use the straws. I don't know if they're water spouts or if they're just supposed to be part of the architecture of the building. But I kind of like them. I think they look really cool. All right, so I guess I'll get more work done on the other side now. Okay, so I got the left side completely finished now. This looks really cool. And there's that bay window. I did have to shim the side of it right there so that it would fit in there. It stuck out just a little bit, so I just shaved off a little bit of the wood, but it fits just fine. Everything fits on here pretty good. There's no detail on the inside of that, which is weird. You'd think they would have made maybe a piece of paper or something on there, but at the same time, it looks kind of cool that you can see inside, even though there's nothing in there. There's some more of those gutters or whatever they are. One thing that was weird is this sign says artisan bread, but yet they make you put the bread interior. I don't know if you can kind of tell, but those are breads in there. And they mistakenly tell you to put this piece of paper in that window. It should have been in this one. But by the time you realize that, you know, this sign is going to be up here on the top, it's too late. You've already glued in this piece into this piece. And that paper piece should have been in here, because that's bread. Those are liquor bottles. And there's no storefront that has liquor bottles. That's a chocolatier there. So yeah, I think they just kind of screwed up on that, but oh well. And then here is the bottom. I'm already starting to work on the bottom here. So this part was cool too. It's like a little, you know, sidewalk and a little brick street in there. You build this nice little sign, and you put, let's see if I can focus on it. You can, you just put it's printed on one side, and you have to put the paper on the other. And I used some black Sharpie marker to kind of touch up where the pieces don't quite cover the wood. And then I also, these are like little letter boxes. I guess they're like mailboxes. See if I can zoom in on that and focus in, but there it is. And it's just 3 pieces of wood that you glue together, and then I used black Sharpie marker on the top and the sides to just make it all match, so it doesn't look like it's wood. And then they just glue into those little spots. Everything's marked as to where it's supposed to go. There's little outlines. I don't know if you can kind of see it here or not. That little outline right there, so it shows you where to go. There's the back wall right there, and the battery box is going to go in there, and you actually screw it to that. So now I just got to put this side and the other side and glue it to this side here, and then we'll get all that done, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I got the sides on now. I got to say that putting the sides on is no easy task. You got to make sure you get them in all these notches on the side and on the back. It all kind of interlocks down here. You can kind of see how that goes. And so you got to make sure you get all these in place, and those notches, and then back here, these notches as well. It's very tricky on both sides, so I just got it taped temporarily here so that the glue can dry and keep the sides nice and straight. You can see the inside here is starting to look really cool. Really like the way that turned out. So now you got to make sure also that the wires are coming out of the back right here. See the wires for the little side light, a little porch light or whatever you want to call that. So now the next step is we're going to take this mirror, and we have to take off the protective piece of paper here. I don't know why that's so satisfying, peeling that stuff off. All right, and now this is going to fit in those 2 slots back here that I was showing you on the side of the wall. So I don't think I'm going to glue this. I think it'll fit just fine in between these without glue. And let me see if I can get this aligned properly. It's probably going to be a little tricky as well. Hopefully everything is good. Oh yeah, there we go. Just slide that down, and it's a little tight between the sides. Okay, there we go. Ooh, man, that's tricky. It was scary pushing that down because I did not want to split the side, so I'm really glad I taped it. All right, so that's really cool. All right, so now I got to figure out what the next step is. Okay, so now we are just about done with the building of this thing. You can see how we have the shingle pieces up here. So that other LED actually goes inside another piece of wood. I should have recorded it, but I got so wrapped up working on it. But the LED actually sticks out on the bottom here. Let me see if we can actually see it. You can just kind of see it poking out right there. So that's going to light up that back section. And then you just kind of put these little pieces on the side, which look pretty cool. They're nice and decorative. So yeah, that's all glued in place. And then on the back here, all the wires are sticking out now. So now we're going to get ready to solder all these wires together and then attach the battery box. Okay, for the wiring, they tell you to just twist the wires together and then put the shrink tubing on. But I went ahead and soldered them just to make sure that they stay on because, I don't know, it just feels more secure that way. So just whatever you do, make sure you put the shrink tubing on first, because you want to make sure, well, you just got to make sure it's on there. I can't tell you how many times I've done projects like this and I forget to put the shrink tubing on before I solder all the wires together. So this one here, I'm going to slide it over this, if I can get it around here. It's kind of a small shrink tubing. Trying to twist it around here. Okay, I may not be able to get it completely around it, but that's okay. All right, and then let's get this, we'll just use a lighter to shrink it. See if I can get this other side here. All right. All right, and here is the second one. Go ahead and melt this one on. And I had to split this one, but that's okay. That'll work just fine. All right, so those are now complete. So now all I got to do is screw this into the back of the whole back section over here. So we'll try to get all that done, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so now we just smush all the wires down in here, like that, and then we put the battery box on the hole here. Make sure you're not crimping any wires in there. Then we match up the holes to the ones that are drilled in there like this. And then they provide you with the hardware, so you'll need the screws. There's 4 of these. Okay. And then they also provide you with a nice little screwdriver here. And then you're just going to screw all the screws in here, and then that should secure the battery box. By the way, when you are putting the battery box in, make sure that you have the switch down here on the bottom. Okay, so let me get the other 3 in, and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, so that is completely screwed in place now. It's nice and secure. And then the very last thing that we do is we glue the front little, this little frame that goes around the edge here. We just glue all that in, and so I already glued it. Got a little tape there to hold it on to make sure that it's secure till it's dry. And then that is it. You can see down inside there. All right, so we'll get that looks really cool. All right, let's get a closer look at this once everything is all dry. And here it is all complete. And oh man, this thing is really cool. It looks so cool. I just love that little miniature scene in there. It looks fantastic. I also like the exterior here. They got this brickwork going on. I mean, you're probably not going to see most of this anyway if you have it on a bookshelf and there's books over here. But you don't have to put it next to books. You can just stick it on the shelf if you want to. So it's nice that they did offer some kind of decorative treatment on the outside. There's the back that I was showing you. It uses 2 AA batteries, and they just go in there. You don't have to have a screw. It just has a little latch right there. Everything goes together really well. I'm surprised. Sometimes these wood kits are a little rough in the way that they go together, but this wasn't the case for this. Everything went together pretty good. A very, very few modifications, and the modifications were really light. Okay, so let's get a close-up on the inside. Okay, so let me turn the lights on here. Let's flip this over and flip the switch so we can get the full effect here. There we go. Wow, that looks so cool. So you can see down in there. Now you can see a little bit of the light up at the top, but you know, I guess it's all right. I guess you can always readjust the piece right here, this part up here, and maybe just make it more vertical. But in the instructions, they tell you to make it at an angle. But here, isn't that great? Look at that. So you can see down in here, got the little street sign. There's a little menu here on the side of this little restaurant. It looks really peaceful in there. There's some more signs. There's that gutter work, or the maybe that's just decorative stuff. I don't know. You can see the signs going in the back. The window, the box window back there. I love the sidewalk, the little brick street, the mailboxes. Although I'm not sure why you'd have 2 mailboxes so close together. There's the bicycle on the side of the bread shop, even though it has the wrong sticker in it. But yeah, it looks really cool. And that mirror in the back, it really does make it look like it goes further back. I love it. See how it makes the sidewalk and the street look like it goes further back than it actually does? It's a really great illusion in the way that was done. It's just too bad that the paper pieces on the back of the signs were not correctly printed in reverse. But I don't think most people are going to notice it, to be honest with you. Yeah, that looks really cool. So here's the top view of it. You can kind of see down inside there. I like that the lights are yellow. They have like a yellowish tint. I think it gives it more of a, I don't know, more of a cozy feel, I guess you can call it. But yeah, the main light up at the top lights up the entire back section of it, but I really like that street light over there. That does it. Oh man, this is so cool. Yeah, and it was really fun to build too. I was really impressed at how fun it was and how easy it was. And here's what it looks like when it's on a bookcase. And it looks really cool. So I got it here between 2 copies of The Outsiders, my favorite book of all time, and also where I get my YouTube name. But you can see how it fits in there really nice. Looks really cool. Now, what's really neat about this is see the back of the shelf right there? But see how that looks like it goes way further in there? That's what's so neat. It makes it look like it goes way in there. So it looks like another world, like you could step into another world that exists behind your bookcase. And I love that. That is so awesome. And if you want, you can put a cover on the top. You can just put some kind of piece up here if you don't want that open like that. And I'm kind of surprised they didn't offer that option, but you know, whatever way works. Probably help keep the dust out too. But anyway, yeah, this is really cool. I've been wanting to build one of these for a long time. They look really neat. And so $50 is what I paid for this on Amazon. There are different kinds of kits of these. Some of them are pretty expensive, like I mentioned. I've seen some that are like over $200. I don't know why they're so expensive. And also, they have different scenes. Some of them are maybe from different countries, or some are like Harry Potter-ish kind of looking. And yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of different ones to choose from. And I think there's even tutorials on YouTube on how to make these out of scratch. So if you want to go all the way and make one just from, you know, bare parts or whatever, you can do that. But I didn't have that kind of patience. All right, well, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give it a like. Also subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. I very much appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next video. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.